Hola, es tiempo para los dos pasados, parte B, ¿sí? En el último video nosotros hablamos de los dos pasados. There are two past tenses in Spanish. We have el imperfecto and we have el pretérito. We talked about how el imperfecto is more of a general past tense, whereas the pretérito is a bit more specific. See? We talked about phrases that you could use for the imperfecto and phrases that you could use for el pretérito. So today we're going to just get a little bit more in depth with these two past tenses, okay? So let's remember el imperfecto, this is our verbs that end in aba or ia in the past tense, whereas the pretérito is the a, o, etc. Okay, lot different. Okay, so the way that I like to remember these two is I like to think of it visually. See, because I am a very visual person, a very visual learner. So I like to think about this visually. So in my mind, the imperfecto is if we're looking at a timeline, okay, a timeline of events here. The imperfecto, when I'm talking about my actions in the past, the imperfecto is a squiggly line, whereas the pretérito is a dot in time. Okay, so the imperfecto is a squiggly line, and the pretérito is a dot in time. All right, so let's look at this a little bit more in depth. Okay, let's look at this. Like, what does that mean? What is a squiggly line versus a dot in time? Okay, so when I'm looking at my dos pasados, when I'm looking at my imperfecto and my pretérito, and I'm looking at which one should I be using in different contexts, right? I'm going to use the imperfecto for actions in progress. Okay, so this side is going to be my imperfecto. Okay, so my imperfecto, these are going to be my actions in progress. Okay, what is happening at this time or what was happening at this time? For example, somebody was running. Okay, I'm going to use this for habitual or repeated actions. Something's wrong with my iPad there. Habitual or repeated actions, so things that happen over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, I am going to use this to give background information. Like if I'm describing somebody, if I am talking about things that they used to do, if I'm trying to build up my character, right? Or if I'm trying to build up my scenery, I'm giving background information. I'm going to use the imperfecto. See? Background info, would be things like descriptions, right? Things that were for a period of time, right? A squiggly line, all right? In contrast, I'm going to be using the pretérito. Let's make our pretérito side. I appear to have a strip that does not want to... Let me write on it. Okay, so the pretérito side is my dot in time, right? So in contrast, on the pretérito side of things, I am going to use this for a specific moment, a specific action. Most often, this is an action that is done and over. This is a completed action. It's not ongoing, okay? I'm also going to use my pretérito for like a list of actions, a sequence of events. So I'm using the imperfecto to build up my scenery, and then when the action happens, I'm going to use the pretérito. Sequence. Is that in a Q? It's a C in Spanish, right? Is it a Q then in English? Sequence of events. Okay, so this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Okay, I'm also going to use el pretérito for an interrupting action. Okay, so like I had the imperfecto for my action in progress, but then I'm going to interrupt it with the pretérito. For example, el niño estaba leyendo cuando yo entré. The boy was reading when I entered. My entering interrupted that action of him reading. See? I'm also going to use this for like a change in action or a change in emotion. Okay, so like if I say ella se puso triste, I'm saying she became sad rather than she was sad. See? All right. There are lots of, you can Google preterite or imperfect, and there are a whole bunch of different visuals to kind of help you out with this. There's even some acrostic, what is that? When like, I think it's called Simba cheated, and so like each letter represents one of the things that goes with each of the past tenses. You can do that. You can look that up. You can memorize it. But what it really comes down to is reading, right? As I always say, it comes down to reading. As you continue to read in the past tense, you will continue to understand which tense to use in different situations. Okay, but remember the general. The general sense is the imperfect is this general squiggly line, and the preterite is this one spot in time. Okay, so that is the general situation as to when we use these two past tenses. There are a few verbs that change meaning because of these differences. So I just want to take a look at some of those here very, very quickly. So we have some verbs, we get our definitions of our verbs, right? But we have some verbs that are going to change. They're going to change what they mean depending on which tense I'm in. So if I have, we're going to start with the imperfecto. Imperfecto. One of these verbs is saber. So saber means to know, right? To know information. Saber. To know something, to know information of some sort. Okay? So how is this going to change? What is going to be the difference between my imperfecto and my pretérito? Well, in my pretérito, it's supo, like mi mamá supo. We're going to do third person here. So él o ella o usted. And in the imperfect, it would be sabía. Sabía. All right, so what is the difference going to be between ella sabía and ella supo? So remember, we're talking about this. Ella sabía is in a general sense. So ella sabía would be, well, she knew. She knew the information, right? Whereas supo is a spot in time. So supo is like the start of knowing. So ella supo is going to be she found out, right? Ella sabía mi secreto. Ella supo mi secreto. She knew my secret, right? It was never a secret to her. Ella sabía mi secreto. Ella supo mi secreto cuando habló con Jenny. She found out my secret when she talked to Jenny. See? So that's the difference there. Sabía versus supo. Okay. Another one that is going to change a little bit in the past is going to be the verb poder. So poder means to be able to, right? Can, to be able to. So when we look at this verb, saber, or not saber, sorry, poder, to be able to, when we're thinking about which one to use in the past, we have to think about the end result, right? Because remember, the imperfecto is a squiggly line. So if I'm saying right here, I have podia, right? And then on my pretérito side, I have pudo. Remember, third person. We're still in third person. Okay, so I'm going to think about this. So podía would be like they were able to. He was able to. He had the ability. Okay, he had the ability, but we don't know if they acted on it. Okay, had the ability, but we don't know if they did anything with it. We don't know, unsure, we don't know the outcome. Right? So if I say, for example, el chico pudo hacer su trabajo. He was able to do his homework. He had the ability to do his homework, but did he actually do it? Well, we don't know. Whereas pudo, if I use pudo, I'm saying that they could do it and they did do it. Okay? So like el ratón pudo escapar. The rat was, or the mouse was able to escape, and it did escape. It could escape and it did escape. See? So here we have the ability and we know the outcome. The same thing works if I put no in front of it. No podía ir. They were not able to go. Did they try to go? We don't know. We're just saying, they couldn't go. No pudo means that they couldn't and they tried, right? They were unable to after effort. All right. So pudo kind of implies that there was effort involved, right? That it was like we tested the hypothesis, right? Okay. Another verb that changes slightly between these two is querer. So querer is to want. It can also be used as to love, like a person. See? Okay. So once again, this is going to imply effort on behalf of the other. So pretérito is going to be quiso. And then the imperfecto is going to be quería. Okay, so quería, this would be like they wanted something. Okay, did they act on it? We don't know. How long did they want it? We don't know. This is our squiggly line. In general, they wanted this thing in general. Okay, this is also going to be loved, and it implies that there is still love. There is still love present now. Okay? Okay. Quiso would mean that they, once again, that they wanted something. Okay? But it implies action. Right? Ella quiso un Barbie. She wanted the Barbie. Well, she probably bought it then because you used quiso. If you're saying quería un Barbie, well, she wanted the Barbie, but she never really got it. See? Okay, quiso with love is going to be like, I loved them, but I don't anymore. The love is gone. Okay, for example, yo quise a mi novio. I loved my boyfriend, but the love is gone now because I have a husband and he's not the same boyfriend, so that would be weird. So quiso is going to be like loved, but it's done. It's over with. It was that spot in time, right? Whereas the imperfecto was that squiggly line. It's still ongoing. It's more gray area. See? Now, if I put no in front of this, that changes things only slightly, right? No quería would be like they didn't want to, but maybe they did, right? Like, no quería hacer mi tarea. I did not want to do my homework. But did I do my homework? Yeah, I did my homework because I was such a suck up and did everything that I was told to do when I was a kid, right? So, no quería hacer mi tarea, pero hice mi tarea. Whereas no quiso hacer su trabajo would mean he didn't want to do his work, and so he didn't, right? He refused to do it. Okay, so the pretérito, we're implying a little bit of effort, right? Whereas the imperfecto is kind of gray area, right? Was there effort? I don't know. It's gray area. See? Remember too, the pretérito is like this action is happening, or it happened, it's done, it's over. Whereas the imperfecto is the was happening. Okay, so one more time, let's look over the two. The imperfecto is my squiggly line, and my pretérito is my dot in time. Okay, right? So for example, this is going to be like the used to do, or the was doing, or the always did, right? And my spot in time is did. And now it's done and it's over with. See? Keep reading. Keep looking at things. Look at the practice. See if you can match some words to their meanings. And just read. Because that is how you're going to learn this. This one takes a lot of time. And there are still times when I'm like, oh, which past tense should I be using? And I've been studying this for a while. So don't feel bad if this doesn't come easily to you. Don't feel bad if you still make mistakes with it. Because the fact is that unless you become a teacher or a writer, if you make mistakes between the two pasts, you're going to be okay. All right? Just keep reading and keep studying and keep learning and growing and speaking and doing. And I'm going to leave it at that because that was a lot of keep doings. Hasta luego.